Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to flake something with paint huffer metal flakes. So here's my setup. I have both panels in here, and obviously I've laid plastic because flake is the messiest thing ever. So I am going to be sealing my parts in this DGP 2700 ISO-free primer. It is a direct-to-metal primer. I'm just going to seal them so that they have a nice base to start on. Most primers, if you want to make them a sealer, they're usually a 4:1:1, but for this we're going to make it a 4:1:2 so that it sprays out a little thinner and dries a little bit faster. So I only mixed up just a little bit because sealer usually goes a long way, and we're just going to do one coat. So you can see it's pretty thin. I get some of these Carworks cups. PPG makes some too. Pretty much there's a lot of brands that make them, but comes with a little disposable insert and a lid. You're also going to want to put on the dirtiest paint suit that you have because you're going to get absolutely covered in flake. I don't care how low of a pressure you spray in, it's going to get absolutely everywhere, so be prepared for that. Okay, so I just got one good coat of a nice silver metallic base on. I'll show you guys really quick. Flake. So you're going to want some sort of carrier base to put it in. You can do it in your clear, but I like to do it in a clear base coat, especially because then you can bury it with your clear more rather than having to do like extra coats over top of the clear that you put the flake in. Anyways, this from House of Color is really good. Or honestly, I just get a clear base coat from my local paint store. So any clear base coat will work for this. I'm going to be using these cups still, but they do have a filter in them, which you can kind of see. You're going to have to cut that out because the flake will not be able to pass through. So I just take a razor blade and just cut around the edge, just like that, and then take it out. This stuff is still technically a base coat, so you're going to want to mix it 1:1 just like you would with a regular base coat. So I'm going to try to not get flake all over my camera videoing this, but I get flake from Paint Huffer. I like to use 3 different sizes together, or probably about 4 or 5. So I'm going to be putting a micro silver in, the 50/50 silver, which I think actually has micro in it and something else. I'm going to do some of their heavy metal mix, and for this step you're going to want to do a lot more than you think. How I was taught is when you pull your stick out, the first time you pull it out, what the flake looks like on the stick is what your coverage is going to look like. So sometimes it's really hard to get like the flake perfectly even, but you're going to be covering the whole thing in graphics, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. But standing my flaked panel with 320. You can use anything from 320 to 600. You're going to want to get like a red Scotch-Brite or some sort of scuff pad, and then you're just going to want to hit all the edges or any hard, weird places that you have, depending on what you're painting. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and then we're going to clean it super well with some glass cleaner. Okay, so depending on the design that you're doing, you're going to want to get a center line placed down. An easy trick to find the center of your panel is run a piece of tape all the way across, you know, end to end, and then take it and bring it all the way across until it stops, and then wherever you fold that in the center is where your center line is at. Okay guys, so after you get your whole design laid out on whatever you're working on, you're gonna wanna mask the thing that you're gonna paint last first. So I mask the very outside first because that's what I paint last. I like to work from the inside of the panel out. So I didn't really video the progress of me painting it, but kind of as you go, I just, I have some really thin line tape that I like to kind of throw in there in a few different spots before I spray that area, so I'll show you now. So I'll just kind of add like a few little extra things in just for, so I actually left this unmasked, painted this, then unmasked this, and then on both sides obviously, and then I did this, then this, and then this, and then I painted the very outside. And there you have it. So now I'm actually going to put leaf around the border, and I'm also going to leaf this thicker line. This is the size I'm going to be using today. You can use duck size. I get that off Amazon. Really doesn't matter, honestly. It's kind of all the same stuff. I'm kind of on a time crunch to get this done. Normally I would tell you to wait a day to spin your leaf, but in this case I'm not going to because I'm on a time crunch. So I'll show you how to do silver leaf. So this is what I'm going to be using to spread my sizing down. I personally like this. It helps get the size a little bit more even. So what I just did is I just got a nice little border around everywhere that I'm gonna leaf or lay size. Okay, so I just got all my size laid down, and now you can see with the light that it's kind of shiny there. You're gonna want to use a nice light and go over everywhere that you laid to make sure that there's no dry spots and it all looks shiny. This stuff is self-leveling, so it will kind of level out to a nice smooth gloss. And then you're gonna want to wait, depending on your temperature, 20 to 30 minutes. So when your glue is ready, this is what it's gonna sound like. That squeal is what you want because your leaf to be super tacky and not very sticky. I have a little tool on the end of my drill, and I have a piece of 3000 grit Trizac. So that is a 3M product. I just get it in these little squares, and then I get a little craft hole puncher. I'm gonna go along and just put a little spin in each one. So I got all my spins done, and now I'm going to go through and I'm going to put a candy coat on all of these.